I would never correct for those things because it has nothing to do with 6 inches this way, 6 inches this way, 6 inches this way, 6 inches this way, right? It has to do with being with me. What's up guys, David with Miracle Canine Training here. So today what I wanna do is I wanna make a video demonstrating why you don't need a fucking heel position with your dog, okay? You guys have heard me talk about this a million times before about how we don't train a standard heel position. We train a come command, which is basically our heel position. And every time I talk about this, it just like confuses people to the fucking moon and back. And they always, I get messages like I just got just a little bit ago from somebody. So this person was sending a clip, asking some questions about some clips we posted recently on a video that we made assessing reactive or aggressive with like this little puggle thing. And in the video, we were helping an owner who was historically trying to like micromanage the dog with a heel position to prevent it from reacting, how to like loosen up and enforce the come bubble that we enforce with dogs, right? And this person replied and they said, I wanted to say this video on YouTube has helped me so much in my delivery. When I'm less micromanaging and targeting the bigger committed issue, I could see the difference, which is awesome. That was the whole point and what we wanted to accomplish with that. They further said, separate question here for the smaller issues. Let's say I want my dog to heel closer. Do we go back to training positioning, or when do we start holding them accountable towards tighter movements? Okay, you screwed it up in that second half. You started off great and you said, this has helped me so much not micromanage my dog better, which is the whole point of it, and the whole point of rehearsing. Dieter, come. The whole point of rehearsing or showing people to enforce a come command instead of a heel position, but then you proceeded to say, oh, I want my dog to do a heel position and I want to start micromanaging them more. So you like, you screwed it up, right? So we're gonna use like 4 different dogs as an example today of showing you why when enforcing a loose, what's up? Why enforcing the loose come command, exactly like I'm doing with Dieter right now, literally is a heel position, but you never have to correct them for tighter movements, right? So let's do this. We're gonna start walking here. We're gonna start enforcing the come command here with Dieter, and then I'll kind of talk along the way on what we're doing, why we're doing it, why it's the same, why it's different, et cetera, et cetera. So let's do this. Dieter, come. Okay. So let's talk first and foremost on what the come command is. No, Dieter, come. Come command is not, a lot of people look at the come command as it's this act of the dog like moving to you. It's rush hour here right now, we got cars everywhere. They act like it's like the act of the dog moving to you from afar. So it's like people think of it when the dog is like 100 feet away and they say come and the dog comes running over, right? No, Dieter, come. It's not that, right? The come command is not the action of the dog moving towards me, because if that were the case, you know, the expectation of come could literally be they're all the way over there, I say come, they take 3 steps towards me, right? That's not, it's just not the case. That's not what come is. Come is not the action of the dog moving to you from afar, which is why you don't need to practice it with your dog well far away from you. You could practice it right here where I say, Dieter, come. Because the come command is the position of being next to me. Right? Now, next to me does not necessarily mean left side, right side, in front of me, behind me. You see Dieter's in front of me here. Before, when I was doing it over there, he was in like a left side, more like a normal heel position. Come is just the position of being next to you. That's all it is. It has absolutely nothing to do with motion. It has to do with the dog being next to you. That's it. I don't know how to explain it more clearly, right? So, come command, position of being next to you. Now, how does this turn into the heeling? Because then I could just say, Dieter, come. And as I'm moving, because all of our positions are implied stays, Dieter should stay right there in the position next to me, right? If I move, Dieter should continue maintaining the position of being next to me. If I come to a stop, Dieter should maintain the position of being next to me, right? That is what the come command is here, right? So in all the videos where we talk about the enforcement of it, I always say, I would never correct for this. I would never correct for this. I would never correct for this. I would never correct for those things because it has nothing to do with 6 inches this way, 6 inches this way, 6 inches this way, 6 inches this way, right? It has to do with being with me, right? Now, if you look at a heel position, I argued this on my podcast that I did last week. If you look at the heel position, The position of being in the heel command is derived from the dog paying attention to you. I would argue that even your highest level competition dogs don't understand the difference between this, 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 this. They understand being in a general proximity next to you on one side, and they understand keeping their attention on you, which is why you see even the best of competition dogs all heel slightly different. Go watch IGP World Championships, and you'll see every German Shepherd and Malinois heels slightly different and slightly different relation to the owner. And the only way you could shape how far forward or backwards they are is not by them understanding, oh, 6 inches, 3 inches, 4 inches. It's by your reward placement. When you give your reward, if the dogs anticipate it coming from behind, they're going to stay back a little bit. If they're anticipating it coming forward, they're going to stay forward a little bit. If they're anticipating it coming from the right, they're going to crab across a little bit. If they're anticipating it coming from the left, they're going to stay a little wider. That's the only way that you could impact that positioning there, past just teaching the dog general proximity left-hand side. So all I'm saying is that when we go to enforce this with punishment, which is again how we're training our leash walking with these dogs here, that your dog can only understand the committed mistake. So when they fully leave you, when they commit to leaving you, it's the only thing that I would correct for. Or as you saw with Dieter, when he stopped following me, he was no longer walking with me. It was a committed mistake. I was able to correct for that at that point, right? And because of that, the dogs wind up looking like they're heeling. Everybody that watches our videos think, oh, you teach a heel position. You teach a heel position. But then I start talking about come and they go, oh, loose leash walking. I'm like, no, 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 no. Has absolutely nothing to do with loose leash walking, right? Because if it were loose leash walking, I'm on a 20-foot leash right now, right? Or 25-foot leash. That would mean this dog could hypothetically be all the way back there away from me, and because he's loose leash, he's technically fine, which is not the case, right? That is absolutely not the case. The leash is irrelevant, right? It has to do with proximity in relation to us, and it has to do with enforcing it in a clear and concise manner, right? So what we're gonna do, we're gonna demonstrate this with a handful of dogs. I'm just gonna work the come command with them. I'm gonna have them on this flexi lead so you can see it has nothing to do with loose leash, and I'm gonna give them the ability to make these committed mistakes, and you're gonna see every one of these dogs is gonna look like they're heeling with me, but they've never been taught it in their lives. Dieter, come. No. Dieter, come. So again, coming to a complete stop would be no longer in the position of being next to me. Now, as you saw, when I was doing a lot of those recalls, demonstrating stuff, Dieter was coming in front of me, right? And a lot of owners, a lot of trainers are like, I would never want the dog in front of me while I'm heeling. That's why I need to train a heel command. But guess what he's not doing right now? He's not staying in front of me, because why would he, if he knows he could be anywhere in proximity to me or in the bubble with me as we're walking, why would he choose to walk directly in front of me staring at me? That doesn't make sense. He knows he needs to keep his attention on me. And again, where does the heel position derive from? He knows that the easiest place for him to stay paying attention to me is at my side or slightly behind me, which is exactly what he's doing right now. And guess what it looks like? It looks like a freaking heel position to me. So I'm making this video just to kind of push back a little bit on this concept that you need to train heel, right? That there's ever a circumstance in which you would need to train this like really rigid position. And even further than that, I am arguing that unless you enforce it exactly like we're doing, I don't know what the fuck this guy's doing. Unless you enforce it exactly like I'm suggesting you enforce, that your dog is never actually going to understand exactly what you want. You're going to wind up nagging them to the moon and back, and you're going to wind up having tons of reactivity and anxiety issues because of that. Which, in Dieter's case, Dieter literally came to us for training because he had massive leash reactivity issues. No. Dieter, come. And a lot of times when you start noticing that the dog is forging ahead a little bit and it's getting slightly annoying, it's usually a telltale sign that the dog is going to make a mistake in a minute, which is exactly what just happened with Dieter. And instead of nagging them before they've committed to the mistake, I am suggesting that you wait just a little bit longer, let the dog commit to what they're thinking about doing, give a more meaningful correction for that, and have the dog actually understand more clearly what it is that they're not allowed to do.